on this computer. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of Saturday morning training for new distributors. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zeege International, and it's my privilege to get to be your host today. We're going to be going through quite a bit of information. I'm going to encourage you to grab your journal. I keep mine handy right here next to me at the desk. Very excited about what's happening. This is the very first day of Zeege 1.25. That's it, Zeege 1.25. We're leading up over the next 4 periods to the launch of Zeege 2.0. Some special announcements. I'm going to be going in more detail in an hour from now on the team-wide first Saturday of the period meeting. So I encourage you to jump in on that. I'm going to actually have David Moses joining me to share some information as well on that particular presentation. I'll give you a little heads up, Pat, in a few minutes. If you're available, just message me if you're available. I'd like to have you join me to do a couple of Q&As with us. Folks, be jotting down in your notes any questions that you may want. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Very, very good. If you have questions, I'm going to have Pat Andersen join me here in just a moment or in a few minutes, and we can field some questions. So write them down. You know, have your questions available to you. A lot of things are happening right now, and before I get too carried away, let me just extend my warm welcome to all of you. I see a number of our new distributors have joined us, some of our field leaders. I see Reed Nelson. It's a bit humbling to have Reed Nelson joining us on this, because it always makes me feel like I got to step up my game when I've got people like Pat Andersen and Reed Nelson here looking. Bob, good to see you as well. I see Clinton as well, and there's a number of you. I'm not going to go through the list, but welcome. Have your pen and paper. What happened to my pen? I already lost my pen. That's somewhere around here. But wanted to cover a couple of things, and again, I'm going to go through the announcements from the Diamond Club call, and I'll be doing that during the team-wide meeting here in about an hour. But this is Saturday morning training for new distributors, and in particular for those of you that are just getting started with us, or there's always, you know, an occasional guest. Maybe you're wondering, you know, what do you have available to you if you get involved with Zeege? Are you going to have the support, you know, the mentorship, the training, what you need to be successful in business? And the answer to that is this is one small component. Today is one small component of an incredibly large amount of knowledge, experience, support, people working with you that'll be made available to you. Now, the training today, you know, what we call it is Saturday morning new distributor training. And I'm going to tell you candidly, that's a little bit of a misnomer, because it's not the Saturday morning new distributor training. It is ongoing training for new distributors and people that perhaps are more seasoned. I encourage you, if this is your first exposure, if this is your first opportunity to get some, you know, foundational information or knowledge on how to build a Zeege business, I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zeege. Fred Holmes Zeege, and Holmes is H-O-L-M-E-S. Go to youtube.com, Fred Holmes Zeege. That's where I am posting all of the presentations that we do, the trainings that we do, team meetings, and so on. But you'll see a link at the top of that page that says playlists. There's only one playlist. Click on the playlist, and you see that playlist is for new distributors. And there's 4 little videos on there. The first one is called New Distributor Training. That's the one I encourage you, if you've never been exposed to this type of business, or maybe you've been involved in other networking companies, but you never got the level of success that you wanted. I encourage you to take in that training. It's 30 minutes, 29 minutes and 47 seconds, something like that. It's 30 minutes long. It is you know, it is a synopsis of the Saturday morning new distributor training I received 33 years ago, I think it is, and actually it's almost to the month. when I first got involved in network marketing. See, I made a transition 33 years ago from being a cross-country truck driver to being able to create a retirement income in this profession in 10 years. I compressed, 2 lifetimes of truck driving income into 10 years. And it was all based upon that very first training I got 33 years ago. I'm hoping that I'm setting up an expectation of some incredible stuff, because I want you to watch that 30-minute video. It's the foundation of what we do. We talk about exactly what we do and how we do it. Those principles, those concepts have remained constant for many years beyond where that I've been involved. I mean, this is going back into the early 60s and 50s when this type of home-based business first began. Those concepts have remained constant over decades. Now, as time goes on, we change our techniques. Back in the day, there was no such thing as video conferencing and conference calls and that sort of thing. That's not how the industry started. But the concepts have remained constant. The successful concepts have remained constant over the ages. And so I encourage you to get in on that. The other 3 little videos on that playlist are what we call the Fast Start Training. And you may want to jot this down in your notes. It is easier to get off to a fast start than a slow start. Okay, and that sounds counterintuitive, but you're going to just have to buy my story on that one. It is easier to build a legacy income in ZJ International by getting off to a fast start than a slow start. Does it mean if you don't get off to a fast start, you can't build a legacy income? No, of course you can. We've got a lot of people that have been around the flagpole for a couple of years, just using our products, getting the benefits of our products, and then going on and becoming diamonds. Okay, but it is easier to get off to a fast start. The 3 little videos that follow the new distributor training, they're about 10 minutes apiece. We talk about how to create a prospect list, how to develop your ZJ story, a 90-day game plan. These are all very important components of a new distributor's entry into our kind of business. Now, on Saturday mornings, we like to take time, and it's not just me, there are other people that participate in the Saturday morning training. I tend to cover most of them, but I have other people that do this, and then I have people that will join me to help with question and answer, because frankly, I'm not the guy. I'm not the end-all, end-all. I'm just a guy who learned a simple system many years ago, had the good fortune to be introduced to ZJ International several years ago, and has created a incredibly significant income, residual income, but doing it part-time from home. That's the key, part-time from home. And for those of you that aren't familiar with my story, that's part of my ZJ story. I've built this business being at home. I care for my elderly mother. She's now 92 years old. And I can do this from home. 99% of what I do to build this business is done right here. Now, this morning, I wanted to cover a couple of quick topics, and I'm going to ask Pat Andersen to join me for a Q&A. I wanted to cover something that's always a question most of the time, it's a question that a brand new distributor will have as they're looking at our business. And whatever reason it is you came here, maybe you started as a customer and you got great benefits from our products and started to recognize there's a market for these products. I mean, in today's world, everybody's looking for, better nutrition, healthier lifestyle. Everybody wants to move away from the, traditional medical establishment where instead of helping people live healthy, we're just simply giving them medications that have so many side effects. The side effects are worse than whatever symptom they're trying to mitigate. People are looking for clean products in their homes, stay away from the chemicals. We've got the products that people see as a recognized need. Maybe you started there. Maybe you're looking for a way to create some supplemental income. Could be as simple as being able to create a couple $100 a month extra so you can put the whole family on the product. Put, mom and dad, put the grandbabies on the product. For some of you, it's a way to create a full-time income and go even beyond financial security, go to financial abundance. It always starts for people who've never had that level of success. The starting point is, can I do this? And see, to me, the characteristics of success, and I'll challenge anybody, okay, to tell me I'm wrong. There are 3 characteristics of successful people in general, but specifically within network marketing and specifically within Zija. And I want you to put these in your notes because it's kind of a self-evaluation. If you want to figure out, can I do this? Okay, because it's the same thing that I had to figure out a long time ago, 33 years ago, when I was presented with an opportunity to get involved with a company. It kind of made a lot of sense to me. The company had some good products that I might personally use if I used them and liked them. I had friends that I figured they'd probably use the products. Some of them might be like me and want to make some money, and they might want to also share these products with other people. The concept made sense. The question was, could I do this? Because as a cross-country truck driver, we're going way back, a long time ago. Actually, it was 33 years ago, but I started driving trucks when I was 10. Buy that story? You don't buy that? Okay, I wouldn't buy that story either. But it was a long time ago, and I was really a truck driver. And a lot of people don't see that today because I've had 33 years of being more comfortable talking to people, expressing myself, learning how to speak. Note I didn't say how to talk, how to speak. The question was, could I do this? Because I didn't have sales background, I didn't have management background, I didn't have public speaking background. Honestly, I was a little rough around the edges, okay, which you might guess, as a truck driver. Now, this is what I was told, and every single bit of this has come to fruition, and this is the foundation of the message I want to share to you today, okay? Can you do this? Here are the 3 characteristics of success, and then I'm going to give you one strategy that will make all the difference. Okay, you ready? 3 characteristics of success. Number 1 is willingness to work. Okay, do you have good work ethics? See, willingness to work, our business is really very much like anything else out there. If you have a job, you work for the county or you work for your employer or whatever it is that you do, okay? If you don't show up for work, how much money do you make? The answer is nothing, okay? Now, quite frankly, there's a lot of places out there, and I hate to say this, and a lot of our government facilities, you don't have to do much work to get paid, okay? Does it sound like I went to the DMV recently? Now you understand why I'm saying that. You don't have to do much work to get paid. But the fact is, if you don't show up for work, nobody's going to pay you. So characteristic number 1 of success is willingness to work. Now, here I'm not talking about having the drive to put in 60, 80, 100 hours a week. Can you do that in our business? Of course you can. You can do that in anything, I suppose. But the real key is, if you commit to working 1 hour today, that you put in 60 minutes of work during that hour. Have good work ethics. Be willing to do the work. Nobody has ever reached high levels of success in anything, and certainly not within Zija, unless they have had good work ethics. So that's number 1. Number 2, you got to be willing to learn. Okay, you got to be coachable. See, this is not the kind of thing that people who've never been successful understand. All right, people think they do. Okay, because oh yeah, I've heard of that. My my mom was a Mary Kay, my sister did Tupperware. I get it, I sell stuff to my friends, and some of my friends will sign up and I teach them how to sell stuff. I already understand this. No, you don't. I mean, yes, it is a very simple system. That's what makes this work. It is a simple system. However, you must learn the system. You have to be coachable. Because it's simple, here's kind of the interesting thing. The simplicity creates a tremendous amount of variability. And you need to work with somebody that truly understands the concept of creating duplication, okay? And I'm sharing this, I mean, some of you have just gotten started. I'm starting to see the list fill up here, people in the room. Some of you have just gotten started with somebody that's only been in the business a week longer than you, and maybe they've only been in the business a week longer than their sponsor. It's important that you work upline, find the people that have the tenure, the experience, the understanding to be able to guide you on the path to whatever level it is that you desire to achieve. So are you coachable? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is silly. I mean, let me give you an example. Too many times I've had people join Zege International, people who, maybe they've done okay. They've got, average jobs, they make a good living, what have you. And they start the conversation when I get a chance to meet them. They start the conversation with something like this. Let me tell you how I plan to build my Zege business. Now, if you've never made, $1,000 a month in network marketing, or $1,000 a week in network marketing, or $1,000 a day in network marketing, wouldn't it make more sense when you get a chance to meet somebody like me or Reed Nelson or Pat Andersen? Wouldn't it make more sense, instead of saying something like, let me tell you how I plan to build my business, wouldn't it make more sense to say, what would you tell me how to build my business so I can create $1,000 a month of income, or $1,000 a week, or $1,000 a day? You can't figure out how to do something. Let me change that. You can't teach something you don't know. All right? You can't teach something you don't know, and our business is a business of duplication. So, number one, be willing to work. Number two, be willing to learn. Number three is the third criteria for success, and of the three, it's the most important. Write it in your notes. A burning desire to succeed. A burning desire to succeed. If why you need to be successful in Zege is important enough, it will create the first two items. It'll create good work ethics. It'll create coachability. But the most important thing is it will keep you in the process long enough to get the results that you're looking for. Now, be very clear on this, okay? While it's the nature of our profession to celebrate people that have very significant, very immediate success. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's, that's what we do, all right? But be clear on this. Most people do not hit the top levels overnight. It takes time to build a successful business. I was not an overnight success in Zege. And you have to understand, I was the guy that had already created a seven-figure income. I'd already retired from the industry, a number of years before joining Zege, and I was not an overnight success. Pat Andersen may share the story of Gennady and Agnes, her new team members. They're qualifying for Diamond, and I believe they've been in business something like 60 days. That's absolutely phenomenal. And let me tell you something else. It's absolutely unduplicatable. It is non-duplicatable. I guarantee you, every time you see somebody that has had incredible overnight success, there was something that they did before this It wasn't, it was years of developing themselves and their skill sets and their communication skills and their systems. And then they brought that to the table with Zija. All right. I was not one of those people. I did not hit dime until my 3rd year in the company. Now, that being said, I am one of the top income earners. And does it bother me that I didn't get that in the first 2 months? No, it doesn't bother me a bit. You know why? Because I got the check today. That's why it doesn't. That was a long time ago, right? I want you to understand that willingness to work, willingness to learn, and a burning desire to succeed, with that one being the most important, if you follow the system, and if you follow this one strategy or this one concept that I want to share with you right now, if you bring to the table those 3 things, your success is inevitable. And the only reason I can say that is because of who we are, Zija International. The greatest obstacle to success in our profession in network marketing has always been something out of our control, the company and the products. Okay, and this industry is full of stories of companies that went out of business, products that were dumbed down. The reason I went into retirement from network marketing many years ago and then came out of retirement for this company is because this company is the only one that I saw over hundreds and hundreds of companies that I was confident, I was 100% convinced would continue to grow, provide quality products that would not be dumbed down, and this could be this would develop to become a legacy company that would outlive me. I was not willing to get back involved in the network marketing profession unless I found one of those incredibly rare companies. And in my humble opinion, Zija will be the greatest company. 20, 30, 40 years down the road, this will be the greatest company in network marketing because it's based on a foundation of integrity at the corporate leadership, and that's the most important thing. Now, the last concept I want to share with you, I'm going to ask Pat to come over and spend a few minutes with me. This last concept will overcome all obstacles. Write this in your notes. Consistency of effort, practice over a prolonged period of time. Consistency of effort and persistency overcomes all obstacles. Consistency and persistency overcome all obstacles. Consistency and persistency equals success. It is inevitable. There is no possibility that you cannot be successful if you bring to the table the 3 criteria for success: willing to work, willing to learn, burning desire to succeed. And if you are consistently, on a daily basis, follow the simple system and you persist long enough. Now, note, I'm not saying you're guaranteed to be a diamond in a year or 2 years, or in my case, 3 years. Okay, I'm not guaranteeing you're going to make $1 million. Okay, what I am guaranteeing you is nothing more than simple, I don't know, physics maybe. Okay, it's just the way it is. It is not possible to not achieve success if you are consistently applying correct activities on a daily basis and you do it long enough. For some people, it's going to happen faster. For some people, it's going to take a little bit longer. For others, it may take longer than that. The success principles work. Consistently applied over a prolonged period of time, it is a guarantee you will reach success. How quickly and what level of success will be entirely dependent upon you. And it goes back to those first 3 things: the level of your work ethics, the coachability, your willingness to learn, to grow, to become more than you are today, and the desire to succeed. If your desire to succeed on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 2, but your goals are a 10, let me tell you where you will end up. 2. Okay? If your desire to succeed is a 10 and your goals are a 2, let me tell you where you're going to end up. A 2. Now, want to be a 10 in both? Create a desire to succeed, a white hot burning desire to succeed beyond anything else, and then set those goals at that level. See, many years ago, my goal, my burning white hot passion, was to care for my mom in her final years. Not just to care for her, but to be able to have a life for her. She raised us as me and my sister as a single mom. She sacrificed everything for us. And my goal was to allow her to have the blessings of that sacrifice and to be able to enjoy her final years at whatever level that she wanted to. And in today's world, for my mom, what is a beautiful thing is to be able to be in her own home, surrounded by the things that she's seen all of her life, to be cared for by her son. And the way to accomplish that for me was to have an extraordinarily high level of income and time freedom. If your willingness to work is good, if your coachability is high enough, and your white hot burning desire is there, set your goals high, then do your personal development, create yourself to that level, and there will be that congruence. It's a guarantee. All I can tell you is that it's like this. It's like gravity. Watch this, folks. You see what just happened? The pen fell, okay? It's called gravity. If you do this and you get those concepts, willing to work, willing to learn, burning desire to succeed, add to that the success principle of consistency of activity and persistence over a prolonged period of time, it is inevitable. It's gravity. And all I can tell you is I am walking, talking proof of this, because 33 years ago, my sponsor in my very first company did not believe I was going to make it, because there was nothing about me that was obvious that indicated I had the capacity to earn at this level, other than willing to work, willing to learn, burning desire to succeed. And I know nothing other than being consistent over a prolonged period of time. That's my superpower. That's the S. Well, I don't have my Superman shirt on. That's my S, my superpower. I can get up and do it every single day, day in and day out, for as long as it's going to take. And for those of you that have known me back in the day, you'll know I had no other choice. What else was I going to do? Drive a truck? So with that, Pat, are you free to come over here? Let me just double check. I'm going to assume, Pat, I'm going to go ahead and bring you over, and you can just mute your camera. I got too many things there. Promote the panelists. I'm going to bring Pat Andersen over. For those of you that are relatively new to the organization, Pat Andersen is part of Zija Royalty. Hey, Pat, how are you? See if I can unmute you here real quick. You may have to unmute yourself, Pat. For some reason, it's not letting me unmute you. Usually I can unmute you.
Better.
There we go. Oh, you hear?
Yep, I'm good.
There you go. Good to see you, Pat. Looking lovely. Are you at home in Oklahoma?
I'm in Oklahoma right now.
Okay, very good. I started to say, folks, for those of you that are pretty new and you don't know Pat Andersen is part of Zija Royalty. She's a Diamond Elite. I will just tell you for the record, because it's now a record, she is the hottest person in Zija International. She has the fastest growing organization. hands down, bar none, I don't care what anybody else is saying, here's the facts. The numbers don't lie. Pat Andersen is leading the natural health revolution. Pat, I've had the pleasure of working with Pat now for many years, watching her organization develop. There's nobody out there that cares more about her people achieving success than Pat Andersen. She's done a tremendous amount of gifting to the field in terms of training, support tools. Your website, Pat, clubmoringa.com, www.clubmoringa.com, is a repository of incredible information and support tools. And I, along with literally tens of thousands of people, appreciate all the support you've done in terms of product information, distributor development, and so on. And glad you could join me today. I'm going to take a minute. Pat, maybe you can just talk real briefly about one of the hottest groups you've got going right now, Agnes and Ganetti. I'm telling you what, I'm getting people, because you can tell who your upline is in the back office. I'm getting lots of people friending me on Facebook from Poland, and my Polish is a little rusty right now. I'm feeling a little limited. Tell us what's happening with them.
Well, my Google Translator is getting wore out. I'm going to tell you that. And in fact, all of you, I've got a really good thing. I just found a little gadget, and I love gadgets. And this one here, I speak in English, and it speaks in 30 different languages back. And it speaks in Polish. So I am so excited to have that at convention, because I'm going to have a lot of the new team there, and all I'll be doing is talking into it, and it'll be a lot of fun. So
it's a gadget, something like a microphone that you hold?
Yeah, it's half the size of my telephone, and whatever I say in English, I just push what language I want, and it'll say it to them in Polish. Yeah.
Wow.
So the Japanese, I can't wait to talk to them finally.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what, you got to tell me how to get my hands on that.
Yeah, and it's really cheap. It was like $99. It was just unbelievable. Yeah.
Ooh, I'll get two.
So let me tell you, I really liked what you said earlier. These guys aren't an overnight success. They might look like it in Zija Nation, but they have over 25 years of experience. They were the #1 fastest growing team in 2 different companies. They've actually been the CEO of another network marketing company in Russia. These guys have a lot of experience. But what I do love about this team is everybody says, oh, well, they just brought a big team with them. They didn't. They brought one person. And you'll see her name, Kinga. And she's platinum now. The rest of the people are brand new, and I would say over 90% have never done network marketing before. This is what I like. But it took them 25 years of training. I posted a picture today of them with Jim Rohn, 15 years ago.
Wow.
They did nothing but go and learn from all the top people. They spent a week with Max Steingart learning how to do social media, and that's all they do with their business, Fred. They do not do home parties, but this is their way of doing it. And it's their way of being able to stay home with their 5 children. They're a very, very close-knit family, and they don't want to travel. They just want to stay home and work from home. But I always tell people, don't wish for something you're not willing to do, okay? These guys have made it to this level by working 14, 15 hours a day. They work more than I do.
Wow.
Okay? They work me under the table, and I trust me, I didn't get to bed till it was 12:30, 1 o'clock last night, and I was up early again this morning. These guys work non-stop. Now, they're after a goal. So if you have a goal that's high, you better be willing to put in the work to do it. So last night, we were on our way to getting Reed Nelson his 3rd week of Triple Diamond. And so that's why, I know, that's why we were up so late. And guess what? there was quite a few in his team that pulled together to help him get this done. And that's a lot of fun too. But you have to understand what it takes to get to some levels. You have to really work. You have to put the hours in. You have to work with your downline. It's not just sitting around and waiting for the volume to come in. It doesn't happen that way. I wish it does. There's no fairy godmother that just drops volume into my business.
The PV fairy, right?
Yeah, I want the PV fairy. Tell me how to get it. It doesn't happen that way. It's called work. Now, it's no different than if I have a job at Walmart or I have a job anywhere. I have to work. And you need to treat this as a business if you're going to succeed. And I know, Fred, you're my sponsor. You know, I have never, ever stopped working in 10 years. I never took a siesta from Zija, just collected paychecks. I've always worked because our team isn't where it needs to be, number one. And my goals haven't been met yet. So I'm still looking at reaching higher goals, and that's going to take work. So Reed and I were talking this morning, and we've got 3 more years of extremely hard work to get our teams where we want them to be, where we need Zija to be. There's a big one right there. Zija, we want Zija to be a legacy company. We want them to be $1 billion company. And if all the leaders take siestas, we're not going to get there. All right. So we all need to work hard together, lock arms, so that we help Zija get in. Ken Brailsford, I talked to him yesterday, I guess it was. And, we need to work really hard together to get the company where it's going to be, Fred. So that's my training today.
And Pat, I'll tell you, especially for the new people, you have to appreciate the fact that, when you reach the level of people like Reed Nelson, and congratulations, Reed, I saw you here on the list a bit ago. Let me just double check, see, yeah, you're there. Congratulations, Reed. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am that you're hitting these marks, and that's just the beginning for you, buddy. I know that. You have to understand, folks, that when you start hitting the levels of Pat Andersen, Reed Nelson, people with my income, we're talking about incomes that most people think of in terms of, 10 years, having it done in Zija in 1 year. Okay, what most people consider to be an annual income, a monthly income. And be real clear about this. This is a vehicle for you. What are your goals? So many people get involved with our company simply to create that extra, $200 or $300 a week. That would make all the difference in the world. I want you to think about this for a minute. What would have happened to your life this year if last year your employer had given you a $10,000 or $15,000 annual raise? How would your life be different? And honestly, is that any less? The difference that extra $10,000 or $15,000 a year of supplemental income, is that any less spectacular than the things we're talking about? No, not if it's your life. If you're making, the average income in America, if you're making, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year for you and your family, and you can add an extra $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 a year, would that change your life? Absolutely. Talk about killer vacations and going out to dinner, and the kids wearing, the cool clothes to school instead of the stuff that, I had to wear when I was growing up, right? The fake designer jeans, although I'm not a designer jean guy. You know where I'm going with this. And so for us, what this has become, and certainly in my environment, in my life, I don't have the capacity to work at the levels that Reed and Pat are doing. But given the time is available to me, I also do that. Okay, I work very hard. Why do we do this? I mean, yeah, it's cool to have the money, but trust me, Pat Andersen doesn't need this money. Okay, Reed Nelson doesn't need the money. I don't need the money. We do this because there is a value to this effort that goes beyond dollars and cents. You know, you can only drive one car at a time. You can only wear one watch at a time. You can only go on one vacation at a time. For us, the passion, when you get beyond the levels of financial security and move to the levels of financial abundance, that's where things get magical, where you can bless others financially that are in need and never have to worry about cutting back. Okay, and then take it one step farther. When you can, we, Pat Andersen, Reed Nelson, Fred Holmes, when we can receive the benefit of watching others start to grow, start to achieve things that they didn't believe that they could do, and I'm speaking just for myself, I never dreamed as a truck driver that the things that have happened in my life could happen. You know, the vacations, the cars, I dreamed of them. I just never believed they could happen. And to be able to help other people experience that, that's what drives us. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it can't be for just the money, right? Got enough of that already, right? Pat, we only got a couple of minutes left. You and I and Reed were aware of what is about to happen with Zija. We've got you know, I'm going to be doing the, you know, the first Saturday of the period team-wide meeting here at the top of the hour. I'm going to go through all of the information from the Diamond Club call. But you've seen this industry over the years. You've certainly been a critical component to the development of Zija now in its first decade. You know what's about to happen over the next 4 periods leading up to convention. What would be, you know, 1 or 2 things that you would want to impart to the people that are part of this broadcast this morning that would be the most critical things that they'd want to do now in preparation for October, the first week of October, the convention?
Number 1 is pick up your socks. Okay? It's time. I'm just being honest.
Shoes, pull up your socks.
Yeah, pull up your socks and let's get to work. We can talk about what we want in our business, but until we actually go out and start doing it, you're not going to achieve what you guys are looking for. It's time to get busy and do it. Get out of your comfort zone and ask for help. We're all the leaders are there to help you. But if you don't ask, I don't know what you need. You know, one of the things Fred and David and Reed, we all say, you guys give us a call. You guys give us a call when you need us, because none of us have time to be calling to everybody in our downline. So you need to call us, make an appointment to go over your goals and what it's going to take for you to get to the next level. Because if you do that each period for the next 4 periods, it's going to be pretty awesome, actually. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing. With I can see where the growth is going to happen, and there's not one of you on the call today that can't do this. You know, I'm a big component, like a proponent of getting to. You know, I've been doing this for 3 years on solid. That's all I focus on is the getting to, and I love the GQ bonus. And if you're following that method, this is where you're going to see the best results over the next 4 periods. And the time is now. It's not going to be in October. The time is now. And people say, oh, it's December, nobody wants to do anything. I became Diamond Elite in the summer.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, it was in the summer when nobody was doing anything. Well, we must have been doing something. Okay? People, you can talk to people in the summer just as well as you can in the winter. It's no different. You just have to get up off the couch, get away from the television, and pick up the phone or turn on your computer and do it. But only you can do it. All right? I can't do it for you. Fred can't do it. Reed can't do it. You have to do it, and you have to want it. And when you decide that you really want it, that's when your business will start to explode.
Yeah. Burning desire. Hey, Pat, listen, I'm just so excited you had a few minutes to come over. I know you said you're at the top of the hour. You're on to another broadcast. Thanks for joining me. I always appreciate having your voice, your wisdom, your experience as part of this presentation for our new distributors. We'll be talking soon.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Take care. We'll let Pat go over to the other side. And folks, we've gone through a lot of stuff this morning. I hope this has been of value to you. Do this. Even if you've already listened, go back to the foundational trainings for new distributors. One of the things that has always been a challenge, it's if you will, for most people, the most challenging part of our business is the concept of repetition. Keeping a simple message simple and delivering it over and over again. I encourage you, go to the youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Check the playlists out. Listen to the new distributor training. Listen to the 3 little videos on how to get off to a fast start. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close down this meeting. Looks like 13 minutes. We're going to come right back. You can log out and come back in, or just stay plugged in. I'm going to be right back on this particular broadcast, this webinar, same ID. We'll take a few minutes. I'm going to go through the announcements from the Diamond Club. I'm going to talk about the brand new Get Qualified GQ for Summit bonus, and want you to be part of that. And then also just a little enticement to stick around or come on back here in a few minutes. David Moses is going to join us. He's going to share some information. You're not going to want to miss that. And so with that, we'll wrap it up. Again, thank you, Pat. Reed Nelson, dude, you rock. That's all I can say. You rock. And congratulations, Reed. So we'll close it down for now. We'll be back here in about 12 minutes. All right, take care. Have a great 12-minute break.